Stallions win the opening game of the USFL by a final of 28-24. Smith, 169 total yards and 2 total TDs. We're going to hear from him right now.
Going into that drive, it was a 2-minute mindset. We got the ball back under 2 minutes. We already knew what we had going forward with the play call, just simple name and numbers, just trying to get some rhythm and the tempo going, get down the field. And we got down there. I missed a couple throws. I got to work with more with our guys just to get that connection going. But he called the play. They covered all the routes, and sometimes the quarterback just has to go make a play for himself and put the team in the best situation to win.
So as we've been telling you for weeks now, with the beginning of the USFL, we were going to have team coverage for that opener, and representing Team Fox 54 was our very own Naomi Grey. Naomi, what did you think about that opening night game? It was a barn burner, right?
Yeah, it was interesting because honestly, it felt kind of slow in the start. And I think that's because a lot of us didn't know what to expect with this league. And I have to say, just because we've seen other leagues like this kind of fizzle out, the expectations were low, just to be honest. But that's not necessarily a negative thing. But I think being able to see the game finish the way it did, that was where the excitement was. I remember walking down to the field. I thought this game was over with 2 minutes left to go. And then, of course, the Stallions came and they tied things up. And they didn't lead this game at all. That's kind of what the interesting thing is. And it was only a one-possession game throughout of it. Nobody ever had 14 points over another, so it was a tight game. We want to see competitive football in a league like this because there's a lot to prove, honestly. And, just seeing the relationship of the players, even during the press conference with Skip Holtz, talking with Jamar Smith, because Jamar Smith played under Skip Holtz, so you have that energy there. And then one of the other players is a Decatur. He's from Decatur, so he's able to play in Birmingham. So there's a lot of ties to the state of Alabama within this league, and that's great. But one thing that I did notice and I thought would be interesting is that all of these teams are here in Alabama. Even though their titles are from different cities, different states, they don't have a fan base. So whenever the Generals did anything, Protective Stadium was straight up quiet. So everyone is just Stallion fans. So it will be interesting to see how the league goes throughout the next 11 weeks when other teams are playing aside from the Stallions, see how much people come out. But I think crowd participation was there. I think there's a lot to be hopeful for. This is kind of like a second chance for a lot of these players. Players like Jamar Smith, he was an undrafted free agent. He signed with the Pats, but he was able to make that roster before training camp. So a lot of guys are in situations like him, just have a lot to prove.
Naomi, you mentioned the fan base isn't quite there yet for Birmingham,
no.
But every time I watched the video, it didn't seem like there were fans there at all. Were there fans there?
I have the numbers. There were 17,500 fans there.
Okay.
So while it doesn't look like that in the video, honestly, when I was down on the field, I was actually saying to somebody else, I was like, wow, this is a good turnout. I mean, obviously weather played a factor, so they got a lot more tickets sold than the fans that were in attendance. But I think on a nice spring day, which we're hopefully getting soon, we're going to see a lot of people pack out Protective Stadium. I definitely believe it.
Very cool. Very cool.